Hello, everyone. I'm Gabriela Casineanu, founder of Introverts Academy. I'm a professional coach and an award-winning author. Today, I'll talk about the questions that I received from one of the participants. The person asked, how can introverts develop their confidence and leadership skills without having to follow extrovert ways? It's a very good question, but I see at least two questions inside this one. One is about the confidence, the other one is about leadership skills. And I could add a third one about the introverts' ways. Because if you're talking about introverts and extroverts, they have innate complementary strengths. So if you're talking about extrovert ways, there are also introvert ways. The first question I should ask, do you know what are your strengths as an introvert? Who do you compare yourself with? Before I move on, if you're watching live this video, please comment. I will look at the comments and I will answer right away if I see your comment. So feel free to ask me any question about this topic and in general about introverts and life and career. There are so many topics I can cover. So let's start with this question about introverts, how they can build confidence and leadership skills. First of all, let's talk about building confidence and building leadership skills. These are objectives. Based on where you are, you set your objective, and there is a gap between where you are right now and what you want to be, what kind of confidence level you want to have, or leadership skills you want to project. So when you become aware of where you are right now and what exactly you want, you have to be very specific. You will notice that gap and you can start looking into how I can bridge that gap, what I can do to get there. And as I mentioned earlier, there are not only extrovert ways, there are also a lot of things that introverts, myself, I'm an introvert as well, we can do to build our confidence. And I'll talk about leadership skills after I'm talking about confidence, because there is a different approach with leadership skills, and you'll find out soon. Let's talk about confidence right now. I have here, a lot of ideas I put on the paper. It's what I call a mind map. If I'm in a meeting, if I talk to someone and they're asking me a question, the first thing I go into all these ideas that I have related to that question. Then I try to figure out which one I want to use in my answer. Then I put the answer together and I deliver the answer. So if I'm doing that, you can imagine there is a certain time frame between the question that was asked and my answer. And someone who doesn't know how an introvert functions, how our brain functions, might think, oh, she doesn't know the answer. She can't say anything about it if the person doesn't have the patience to wait for my answer. So this could go two ways. One could be, it could lower my confidence level. If I'm hearing that someone says, oh, you're stupid, you don't know how to answer simple questions like this. Or I might think, I know a lot of things about this topic. If the person didn't have the patience to, why should I bother? If the person didn't have the patience to listen, to wait for my answer. Or I can go on a third option, but this requires kind of a preparation in advance. Let people know how my brain functions. So I give you these three scenarios because in each of them, you can notice a different confidence level. In the first scenario, when I take for granted what other people say about me, and I let that lower my confidence level, it's something that I allow to happen to myself. If I know how I am, how I function, and I have confidence that I can answer that question, it doesn't matter how much the other person or whatever the other person say about me. So my confidence level is not affected. And the third one is, because I know how I am, and because I know the differences between introverts and extroverts, how they think, how they behave, I am proactive. I let people know in advance what they expect what they can expect from me. So they get to adjust their behavior and their thoughts and what they say based on what they know about introverts. So there are a lot different things that you can consider about confidence. Something else I want to share, the different point of view. What do you think about yourself, your self-image? And when you talk about self-image, we talk about, in this case, just about the confidence. So do you think you are confident in general or in specific situation? Because usually people are confident about something they know they can do, they are good at, and they might not be confident with something that's totally new or they're not interested in. So do you think about yourself as a confident person in general, or do you go more punctual? I'm confident with this, I'm not confident with that, and I might want to work on that if I'm interested in increasing my confidence level with that aspect of my life or my career. So think about where you are and what you want. It's also about the image that you project to others. To give you an example, at one point, someone said, oh, you're very powerful. I was doing something with my hand and I have good grip in my hands. And she's like, oh, you're powerful. I'm like, yeah, I know. So I said it in a very modest way. And she was like, how do you say that? Do you know that? I'm like, yes, but I don't show it. Introverts project confidence in a different way than extroverts. So when you say I don't have confidence, do you compare yourself with how extroverts project the confidence or how you would like to be? If you are confident with yourself in a specific situation or about a specific aspect of your life, that is great, but you also have to understand that others, and that's a third part of the point of view, how others perceive you. Because you might be confident about your skills, about your expertise, for example, but if other people don't know about you, and you just show up in an interview and you're stressed out about the environment, about the fact that you are in a new situation, you might not perform the way you normally do. So you might not project the skills and expertise that you have. So the image that you project, the confidence levels that you project might be different from how you think about yourself. So think about that when you're looking for a job, when you're talking to people. What do you think about yourself? What image you project, and how others perceive you? And if you don't know how others perceive you, just ask, what do you think about myself? What do you think about how I present this, how I show up in this situation? More you get the other feedback, you can understand that gap I was talking about earlier between what you think about yourself and how others perceive you, and you will think about what you can do to adjust that gap so it is not as big as it might show up right now. So I'm looking at my list here to see what else I can share with you. If you're interested to know more about introvert strengths and extrovert strengths and how they are complementary, there is a video on Introverts Academy website. If you go to introvertsacademy.org, you can go into the resource hub section. There is a video, Know Yourself, a self-confidence tool. Why I'm saying that, and I go in more details in that video, showing you the differences between extroverts and introverts, how they are born with those characteristics. When you know more about yourself, you don't put yourself down when you are not like others. If you know that is how you are, you're looking into how can I use these strengths more often? Because when you start looking that way, you look at something that is your strengths, you become more confident that you already have that characteristics, and you start using it more often. So you will project that confidence this way. So start looking more into learning about yourself. how you are, how you function in different situations, what worked well in the past, what you can do differently to get to the levels that you want to by using your strengths. So there are a lot of things that you can do. We have on the Introverts Academy website also a list of 30 introvert strengths you can download for free, and you can see in how many of them you can recognize yourself and start using them more often, because more you align your actions with who you really are, more you become confident and you project that confidence. If you want to improve your confidence level, as I mentioned, think about something specific that you want to improve. I want to improve my confidence level when I am in a job interview, when I talk to someone who has authority. I want to improve my confidence level in this situation. So when you are more specific, you will be able to understand where you are right now and where you want to be, and you can take baby steps to go there. Take it as a project. Introverts are very good at project management. Think this is your project. You have an objective to get to that level. Do brainstorming like I did with my ideas. What can I do to increase my confidence level? When you know how you are, you know your strengths, you know where you want to be, what can help me? What kind of actions I can take? What can I do? Who I can talk to get feedback? So you start working on your project, gathering those ideas and planning what you want to do, and start taking action step by step, and you will get there. When I start doing workshops, I didn't think about myself, oh, I don't have confidence to do a workshop, I shouldn't go there. I put my objective to help people with what I learned up to that point. And by doing that, I projected my passion for the topic, and people connected with that passion and saw me as a confident person who is projecting something, who shares ideas that are useful to them, and that help them connect better with the topic and see me as a confident person, even if I was not as confident at the beginning. But I noticed the reaction. People liked what I did and how I did it, what they got out of that first workshop. So I put myself in another situation. I did another workshop and another and another. And that's how I build my confidence level with delivering workshops, webinars. There is a light that is moving around. I did the same with LinkedIn Live. The first time I was really scared about being live and what should I do. Right now I'm more confident because I built this confidence in time. That's what you need to do as well. Take it as a project. Don't be a perfectionist, because if you compare yourself with where you would like to be, you will always think that you are less than. So if you're not as confident as extroverts, as that person, as whatever you fill in the blank, you will think that I'm less than. And when you feel that you're less than, how much energy do you have? If I'm feeling that I'm less than those people who are on the stage speaking to crowds of thousands of people, I have less confidence, I have less energy, and I might not take the actions that I need to get to that level if I want to. The question is, do I want to? So don't just compare yourself with what you think it should be okay. You really want to ask yourself, do I really want to be at that level? Or there is something beyond that that attracts me, that might take me through that level because I want to achieve my biggest goal. Like for me, it's to build a better world by tapping into introvert power. So everything I do, I relate to my bigger goal. Any activity, any new project I take on, I focus on my bigger goal, and that gives me energy and passion to go over any challenges I face on this path. So think about that projects that you want to take on, and it has to be something very specific. If you want another example, you know that a lot of people advise us you should increase your network, you should go to networking events. We'll start seeing more networking events in person being organized. You can set an intention. I want to go to this event because I like the topic of the event, or I might want to speak with 3 people there. Set an intention when you go there. And when you go there, focus on your intention. I was saying earlier, something that's bigger than the fact that you are in that event, that you don't have confidence to talk to strangers, for example. And you will find the courage and the energy to do that. And by doing that, your comfort zone will expand. And the next time you're doing something like this, you will be a little bit more confident. And the next time you'll be a little bit more confident. So you won't become an extrovert by doing that, but you will become more confident in situations that otherwise, if you didn't start this process, you wouldn't be. And those situations might bring opportunities that you wouldn't expect if you didn't even try to go in that direction. So there are many things that you can do. To give you another example, I did a presentation about one of my books, Introverts Leverage Your Strengths for an Effective Job Search. And the presentation was at a library. I had a full room of people, and at the end, there was a very shy, introverted student who came to me and she asked, "What can I do? I don't like to talk to strangers. What can I do? How can I overcome this?" And my answer was, do exactly what you did when you came to me and asked this question. You focus on something very specific that you want to learn or to understand. And you got the courage because you wanted the answer to that question. You got the courage to come to me and ask that question, even if you didn't know me, you never talked to me before. And what happened? You got an answer. And if you start thinking about that answer and what resonates with you, what you take out of it, how you can implement your own learning, and you start applying it, next time you will be a little bit more confident. So this is how you build your confidence in whatever situation or direction you want to build your confidence. What else do I have here? To give you another example, I have a book. I have several books on my Amazon profile. You can find them there. These are a few books about introverts and job search. Award-winning books, bestsellers. They've got some awards, best book for introverts, for job hunting, for the job interview. Why I'm showing you these books is because I don't have time right now to cover the topics that are in these books, but that's what I'm doing there. I'm talking about how you can use your introvert strengths to be more successful when you're looking for a job, when you build your career. So think about this process of building confidence like something that is helping you grow in time. It's not something that happens overnight. Even maybe you were confident at one point with a certain skill, but if you didn't use it, you might lose that confidence. But you didn't go to zero. You don't start from scratch. You just reconnect with it and practice a little bit and you come back to it. So look at more ways of, more ideas what you can do. Look into books. If you like to learn from other people's experiences, I have these books, Quiet Lessons for the Introvert Soul, where I interviewed 11 introverts, how they overcame their challenges. And one story is about Charles, who is a top sales performer. He's an introvert. If you go on his LinkedIn profile, he looks like a very shy, timid person. You wouldn't think that he's a top performer in sales. But he showed he told us in that story how he overcame his introvert struggles when it comes to networking, when it comes to building genuine relationships. So there are things that you can learn from other people who already did it and start thinking about how you can apply those things. The other book, Crossroad Moments of My Life, contains 3 crossroad moments, 3 points in my life when I overcame those challenges and I used my introvert strengths. So you can learn from my experience if you want. You can learn from the other book, Metaphors, where I take you through an emotional journey, what helped me to go from losing a job, and I have a huge debt at the time. I didn't have any savings, and suddenly I was laid off, and how I bounced back, how I regained my confidence that something good could happen. So there are all these things that you can learn from others. Also, I have other books, and I'm not encouraging you just to look at my books. There are many books out there and many YouTube videos that encourage you to think about yourself. These 3 books, for example, are from my photo coaching series. These are books for self-coaching. So what you'll get from these books, you will get an image and a question to self-reflect. So you get your own answers based on your intuition, based on your situation. So you can get to know yourself more on how you can overcome whatever you want to increase your confidence level. So there are many things that you can do about confidence. You can also create a list of situations in the past where you showed confidence and start looking into what happened at the time, kind of trying to dig a little bit further. What make you have that confidence and what you can learn from those experiences to apply right now in whatever situation you want. Because at one point you were confident about something and something happened with you to get that confidence. If you start learning a new language, of course you won't have confidence talking in that language. You need to practice. It's like a baby that just starts his life. He cannot move, he cannot walk, but in time he developed the muscles and the agility, and he starts crawling, then walking. But he doesn't just stand up and walks. So it's a process. Think about building confidence as a process. And be patient with yourself. Don't judge yourself because you're on that journey. And the only person you can be accountable with, you can compare with, it's yourself. Are you better than you were 5 years before, 2 years before, 3 months before? If you are, give yourself a palm on the back and congratulate yourself because you are on this process, on this self-growth journey. And this will help you to get better in time. To give you another example from Alex, he came to Canada when he was a teenager. His English was very poor. He couldn't speak very well English, but he was very good at chess. So what he did, he put himself in a group of teenagers who were playing chess. And he was very confident in his ability to play chess. And he didn't have to use English too much. But he was able to make friendships in that club, and the others connected with him. And he started communicating with the other people. And that's how his English improved. So his confidence level about English improved. So look at what you can rely on, what you're already confident about, and how you can leverage that into the new situation where you can build your confidence. Another situation that comes to my mind, my second job in Canada, the first one was customer service, to just start getting some money to put food on the table. 3 months after, I got a new position, doubled my salary. It was more corresponding to my background. I came to Canada with 18 years experience in engineering, IT, quality assurance. So this new position was hardware quality assurance. But what happened during the interview was interesting. The person who was asking me the questions from HR, she was speaking very fast. And I was in my first month in Canada. It was like 2 months just came in when I had the interview. And she was asking me a question after another very, very fast. And at one point, I didn't understand the question. And I asked, can you please rephrase the question? And she's like, the same way, fast, I didn't understand. What can you do in a situation like this? What I did, I relied on my intuition. I know that I'm very well connected with my intuition. And my intuition made me understand that it was a question, a closed question, yes, no. And the way she asked the question, I kind of had an idea where she's going to, and my answer was yes. And I got the job. So trust your intuition. It helps you. But if you're stressed out that you don't have confidence, you're not good at this, I don't have enough skills, experience in whatever situation you are, you're cutting your connection with your intuition, which is the one who can give you ideas what you can say or what you can do in that specific situation. So trust your intuition as well. Let's go to the leadership. Leadership skills. In my opinion, introverts don't need to improve their leadership skills. They just need to use them. The question I want to ask you is, what leadership means to you? Do you consider a leader someone who is very powerful, dominates, who imposes his ideas on others? Or do you look at leadership that has different styles? Introverts are quiet leaders. This is a term that Chinese people are using. You can be a great leader and influence others not by indoctrination, but by enrolling people in the cause that you care about. When I started the Introverts Academy and I start talking to people, hey, I want to build this Introverts Academy, I was really interested in this idea because a lot of things happened up to the point when I got the idea to start the Introverts Academy. And when I noticed the other people's reaction to it, I'm like, that's a great idea. It gave me more energy, and more I start talking about it and more people reacted to it. And I started enrolling people into my cause about educating the world about introvert strengths, about how introverts and extroverts have complementary strengths. And a lot of companies can lose a lot of resources, including human potential, if they don't tap into this diverse workforce they have, into the strengths of both introverts and extroverts and so on. So as an introvert, if you start focusing on a cause you care about, on a meaningful topic, you can enroll people in that cause, and that's how you lead. You already have the skills. And I can give you an example, and you can get more example from what I shared earlier if you download the list of 30 introvert strengths from Introverts Academy website. And in the other book, Quiet Lessons for the Introvert Soul, if you read it, you also can download a list of more than 100 introvert strengths. So we can see there are many, many strengths that introverts have. So I'm talking about leadership. Think about it. Can you say that a leader has good project management skills, has a good strategic thinking, are keen observers, they think before they speak, they make good decisions because they can deal with complex problems? All these are introvert strengths. So if you said that all these skills make someone a leader, you as an introvert, you already are a leader. Maybe you don't show your strengths. Maybe you don't show them enough so other people recognize you as a leader. Maybe you didn't take on a project yet, or a situation where you come up as a leader, but it doesn't mean that you don't have those skills. So it's up to you how you use them, how you project those skills so people can recognize you as a leader. And there are different ways of doing that. Let's say in the workplace, for example, if you are not a leader yet, keep in mind that where you are right now and where you want to be, the leadership positions that you want to be, there is a gap of skills. it's not that you don't have the skills or you can't build those skills. Maybe it's not, it's more about you didn't show those skills or you didn't show the interest to go to the next level, or both. Because if you know that you can be a good leader, but you just do your job, the tasks that you need to do, no one else knows that you have other skills if you don't show them. If you express your interest in getting to the next level, people know that you want to get to that level, and they might look to see if you already have the skills required on how they can help you to move to that level. People like those who are assertive. They know what they want and they do something to get there. So if you want to be a leader, why not taking this as your own project to show more your leadership skills? In the workplace, if you have an idea about something that can be improved or a new project, go talk to your manager and share your idea. And if everyone it's okay, you can even offer, if they don't ask you, I can take on this project. And by taking on that project, you already start showing and using your leadership skills. And when they see what good work you do, you might get to the next level. Even if it was a project just maybe in your team or in your department, that is a leadership experience that you can put on your resume, and you can move on and look for new opportunities to gain different positions where you can use your leadership skills. If you think you are in an environment that doesn't allow this, what you can do, you can start using your introvert strengths with your own projects or do volunteering, where you can use those skills that make you show up as a leader. And by using those skills this way, you not only have references if you apply for a position later on, a leadership position, but you can also open new opportunities. For example, I built my leadership skills by becoming the president of an organization. Then I started a new group. Then I built it. I built a Toastmasters club. I'm building right now the Introverts Academy. People would say that I'm a leader. I'm not really considering myself as a leader. It's not that I'm not considering. I don't even think if I'm a leader or not. I'm just moving forward towards something that I want to create, something that I want to build. And if that makes me a leader, I'm totally okay with it. But I don't look at, oh, I'm a leader or I'm not a leader. More you start thinking about this, less time you have to build whatever you want, the career that you want, the journey, the leadership journey that you want, the project that you're interested in. So it's not as much about building the leadership skills for introverts. It's more about finding opportunities, either with your projects, volunteering, or in the workplace, to use more your skills, not only those required for the position. What else we can say here? And it's the same with the leadership, like I was saying with the confidence. You might be perceived as a leader in this specific area and not in another area. You might be perceived as an expert in this area and not in another area. But what happens when you start building your confidence and your expertise in one area, you can become a leader in that area. And then you can start using that experience to build yourself, your expertise, your leadership skills, your confidence in another area and another one. I can show you an image of all the things that I've done. That's what I did. I just move on in my journey depending on where I wanted to go. This is an image. So you probably saw that I did a lot of things. It might seem that it's totally in different directions, but if you really follow my path, you will see that I started in engineering. Then I realized that engineering, it's not really for me. I tried IT because I found it more creative, more interesting. Then I moved into quality assurance because I had the chance to move from one city to another, and that was an opportunity to use both those skills that I had built before. Then I came to Canada and I discovered coaching, and I really loved coaching because it's a good match for my personality. So I shifted to coaching. So I started from scratch in Canada with my career path, and I started building that path. But I had confidence since I was able to build my engineering career in quality assurance in IT. I had confidence that I can build this career in coaching as well. And then I added workshops, webinars. I started writing books. My first book became an Amazon bestseller in 7 countries and won an award a year after, even if I never wrote a book before. But I used concepts and the tools that I learned along the way. I have an MBA, and from quality assurance, I use mind maps. It's a tool that we are using in quality assurance. That's why I started my book with a mind map like this. What are the ideas that I want to put in my book? And then I group them in chapters. I organize the chapters in a certain sequence to take the reader on a journey. And then for each chapter I created another mind map. So I was using my background into a new field, and I didn't feel that I don't have the confidence to write that book. So it's up to you. What you think about yourself, it's not only where you are, it's what you think about yourself, how other people perceive you, whether it's confidence level or leadership. So there are many ways to go through this. I want to show you that with Introverts Academy, we have a lot of things that we can do for you to help you. We have a resource hub where you have resources for free. We have a course, Networking the Introverts Way. It's not about building confidence to network. It's more about understanding why networking is useful even to you as an introvert, and how you can use your strengths to reach out to people, to get new information that helps you along the way, to validate where you are and what else you need, to get new ideas. So when you start looking at networking from this perspective, and you add also things on how you can manage your energy, we talk about that in a module in that course as well. When you start putting all this together, you'll navigate the networking landscape with much more confidence, because you're just using your introvert strengths. You're not becoming an extrovert. You're not doing this because you're an extrovert and you need to talk to people to energize yourself. It's about what focus you have, that bigger purpose that I was talking earlier. We have coaching sessions. You can have one-on-one coaching with someone. Hire someone to help you if you want that kind of help. If you think that you tried by yourself, you tried to learn from books, you try those self-coaching books, self-reflection, you start taking action and you don't see much progress, or you don't know what else to do, why not asking one-on-one help on webinars? So there are many ways we at Introverts Academy can help, but also you can help yourself, because you know more than anyone else what you want and where you want to be. If you have any other comments, any questions, please write them. I will come back to them after. I want to answer a few questions that I received directly from those who registered for this LinkedIn Live. How can introverts become leaders? I already mentioned introverts have what it takes to be leaders. You just have to look for opportunities when you can show those skills, and more you practice them, more you increase your confidence of being a leader. And that's how you become a better leader. It's not that you are not a leader. I remember when someone told me that I'm a leader, I didn't want to accept that, because for me at that time, that idea of a leader was a boss who was someone who was very bossy, and I'm not someone who acts this way. So I didn't want to associate myself with that image that I considered for the leaders. But when I start looking into the leadership styles, I realized actually I can be maybe a much better leader than that person. So I start embracing the fact that I have leadership skills, and I start using them in whatever projects I wanted to get involved with. How introverts can be better at addressing a crowd or large groups. Again, it's a process. Start with a small group of 2-3 people, or you can even start just recording yourself, so you get used to speaking. Go to a Toastmasters club, become a member, and you can practice in that environment public speaking. That's an environment created especially to help people build public speaking skills. Another thing that you can do, put yourself in situations that go from a certain level to more difficult level. As I mentioned earlier, I started with doing a workshop. There were only 7 people in the room. Then I started doing another one and another one. By the time I went to Toastmasters, I already gained my confidence in public speaking. So I went very fast through the different modules of Toastmasters. Then I start looking into how I can leverage more my time and energy to help more people. So I had to push myself into speaking to more people. And there are ways of dealing with the specifics of being there in larger crowds or groups. One of them is focusing on the bigger message that you want the audience to take away, not on who you are, what you have or what you don't have, how prepared you are. So don't go into the self-negative talk, because more you go there, less you are present for the people in front of you, less you can communicate what you want to communicate, and the result won't be the one that you want. So focus on the bigger purpose of you being there, and you do a lot of preparation before. If you want, you can write down your speech. You can repeat it several times. You can just create, let's say, several bullet points and start practicing just with those bullet points. And at one point, you're so comfortable that you can address a crowd without even thinking about those bullet points. So it really depends on the crowd and the situation, because there might be situation when you need to be there without any preparation. But if you build that confidence and public speaking skills in time, you won't freak out if you're just asked to speak. When I went to a conference at Connexus in 2020, I spoke to a group of career development professionals. These are people who know a lot about how to help their clients. So I was there more from the perspective trained a trainer. And I could freak out because I used to be in their shoes years ago, and who I am right now to speak to them. But I focused on the message that I want to project, something that they might not be aware of, or maybe they didn't see the angle, the perspective that I wanted to show them. So I focused on that, and I showed up as very confident. So think about what you can do from this perspective, because as an introvert, where you focus on what is important to you, what's meaningful to you, what energizes you, what you're passionate about, you will project a better image that other people might consider it as confidence. And also, they will connect better with your message. And when they connect with your message, you're going kind of in a circle. This will give you energy to continue to do well in that situation. And that's what you can do to address those crowds. And there is a last question that I don't have time to address now. How can I become a good marketer if I can't even face people? There's a totally different topic. If you want a quick answer, you can just read the chapter in the book, Quiet Lessons from the Introvert Soul, the chapter of Charles Chan, the one who said, who mentioned that he's a top sales performer. And I noticed him on LinkedIn. since I published a book, he went up several levels from the level where he was at that point when I was talking to him. So he will tell you how he did it as an introvert to get to that level. It's not about focusing on, oh, I can't face this person. It's focusing on, what do I want from this event when I want to connect to people? What do I want from the person in front of me? And don't think that it's egoistic to think that way, because everyone wants something for themselves and from others. So when you think about, you have someone in front of you and you think about, oh, I can speak, I don't know what to say, you're just focusing on yourself. And that cannot go well, because more you're doing it, more you're in your silence, and you're not there to create a bond with the other person. What you can do, you can just start with a question. Oh, how are you? What are you doing? What do you think about this event? Find something that you have in common with that person and start with a question. The person will answer, and while the person is answering, it's giving you time to reflect on what you can say next. You can ask another question based on the answer you received. You can ask a question that you had in mind. Do you mind if I ask you this question? So focusing on the other person and on the dialogue, we call it in coaching the dance between you and the other person. Don't focus on yourself, because when you focus on the others, you will get better ideas. Introverts are very good observers. You can observe their behavior. If they are not interested in talking to you, it's totally okay. Just move on. There might be other people you can talk to. But if you notice they are interested in, just continue the discussion. Say something about a new information or about what they just said, or ask a question or share a different perspective. Just be present there, and your intuition will help you continue the discussion. So don't take it that I don't know, I don't like to face people. The question is, why are you there? If you are there to meet people, let's say you are a business owner, you are there to meet people, you're not actually there to sell your products or services. You are there to help people understand that you have those products. Maybe they know someone who might need them. Look what I did in this presentation. I talked about my books. I talked about Introverts Academy, what we have and what we offer. You might think, oh, I'm just bragging about myself. I'm an introvert. I wouldn't do that. And for years, I didn't talk about myself and my coaching practice, because I don't like to talk about myself and how good I am in what I'm doing. But someone told me, and that really stuck to me. He said, if you have something that is very important, that can help people, it's your responsibility to be out there and talk about it. So what do you have to help other people? Think about why you are there. And by other people could be you as well. What you can do to help yourself. Do you need certain information? Start looking for people who might have that kind of information. Do you need certain resources? Do research to find them. Talk to people to know if they know where to find those resources. So there are many things that you can do. And I stop here because I could write a book about these topics. Thank you very much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment. I share in the comments also the links about the videos and the books I was talking about, Introverts Academy. And see you next time. I hope it was helpful. Bye.